King podcast. As we are going to talk boxing, we're going to cover all the fights that took place last night. Shout out to all our affiliates, World Fight Camp, Boxing Broadcast, and Pep Talk UK. Of course, joining me as always to do this show is the man himself, the prodigy, 2K. What's going on, fam?
What's good? What's good? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Good
weekend of fights that took place yesterday. We got some more fights coming up today. But as always, man, I'd like to start out by telling everybody to go to 3kingsboxing.com for all the latest and greatest what's going on in the sport of boxing. Previews, breakdowns, some of the most knowledgeable cats about the entire sport, the entire keyword sport of boxing. All right. Yo, Prodigy, man, wild weekend so far?
Yeah, man, you had some big-ass upsets, Didn't expect that to happen, especially the Jorge Linares one. Now, the Bryant Jennings one, we somewhat called that shit, but Jorge Linares, man, I ain't expect him to get beat like that.
Nah. He got, what funny was, this type of stuff used to happen to him early in his career, and he fixed it. And then to see it happen right now, there's a lot, there's a lot of questions to be answered, man. So let's, since we talked to Jorge Linares, let's start with that, man. Jorge Linares got knocked out in the first round by Pablo Cano. Excellent fight. Now, a lot of people don't know that much about Cano. Cano has been in the ring with some of the best people in the sport of boxing. He's not no new dude. He ain't nobody new on the scene. He's been in there with Shane Mosley. He's been in there with Ashley Thea Payne. He's been in there with Paulie Malignaggi. I actually thought he won that Paulie fight myself. So, he has experience on that world-class level.
Yeah, he does. And they were saying that the commentators were saying that during the fight, or at least before the fighters, or at least before the first round started anyway. They were saying, he ain't no pushover, man. Don't think that Jorge Linares is just going to move up and wait and walk right over Cano. You know what I'm saying? He's got that experience. Mm-hmm. And to me, what happened was, man, this is a classic case of a fighter biting off more than he could chew. You know what I'm saying? And, 5 pounds. I try to tell cats, man, when they talk about the little guys, 105, 108, 112, 115, 118, 122, when they talk about them cats and they like, the reason why they got like 17 titles and 6 weight classes is because there's only 3 pounds in between them. True, but those 3 pounds matter to some of these fighters, man. You know what I'm saying? As you just saw, that was only a 5-pound difference with Jorge Linares. You got to get your body acclimated at fighting at a different weight. That's always going to be an adjustment that needs to be made, no matter if it's 5 pounds or fucking 3 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So that's what Jorge Linares was dealing with, and the guy he was in the fucking ring with was a natural at the weight. So he rehydrated to even higher than what he was supposed to weigh in at. You know what I'm saying? Or what he weighed in at anyway. So,
now,
go ahead.
No, that's key that you said that he was a natural, because a lot of people were saying, well, Jorge didn't have this problem with the weight when he fought Vasil, but Vasily Lomachenko was coming up also in weight.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's a situation where, he, like I said, he just bit off more than what he could really chew. But at the end of the day, I still think Jorge Linares, if he goes back down to 135, he'd still be a problem because that's where he's comfortable at. You know what I'm saying? This fight reminded me of, Bo?
What's up?
This fight reminded me of Jaime Munguia versus Saddam Ali.
Yeah.
Just one for a title. That's what it looked like.
Yep.
Just this big-ass brute. You know what I'm saying? Everybody says Jaime Munguia looks like Tong Po from Kickboxer and shit. He looked just like that cat, just with no ponytail. My man in the back in the locker room kicking walls and shit. That's Jaime Munguia. You know what I'm saying? that's Jaime Munguia. But for this fight, that motherfucker Cano was in the back kicking walls and shit. That's what it looked like, man. So Linares got to go back down, brother.
Well, I don't. You know what? My issue with this is, I saw the fight. Number one, outside of the fact I thought Linares looked it very dry coming to the ring. He looked it very dry. So that's definitely not a good sign when you look like that. But And the reason why that's not good, because when he got caught cold. And when you're caught cold, that's when he was completely disoriented. He kind of didn't know what to do. He made a lot of mistakes that a Jorge Linares, somebody like that, shouldn't make. He tried to fight his way back into the fight instead of realizing, whoa, wait a minute, let me move around the ring, let me use my boxing skills. He completely gave up his skill set and started fighting at the level of the opponent.
Yeah, I agree.
And that's what led to the knockout. He should have started boxing and moving around. Instead, he tried to stand there and fight with a dude that can outpunch him. He reminded me of doing that. He reminded me of Timothy Bradley. You trying to, you ain't got that power. You trying to fight like that?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
No, I said he reminded me of Timothy Bradley. Remember when Timothy fought Ruslan Pavarnikov? It's like, dog, you trying to sit there and punch with a dude that can outpunch you.
Yeah, exactly. That was the problem. And I don't know, man. Like he because it was after that first knockdown, he started. He kind of it for me. I thought that it was like a flash knockdown because of what he was doing. You know what I'm saying? He kind of stayed in the pocket and decided to slug and shit. But then he was all right. Let me retreat a little bit. That's when I realized not to waste too much. You know what I'm saying? So you're right. It does have a similarity to that, and it's an unfortunate situation for him because he's trying to get back on the saddle and get his career back going. At a certain pace, trying to put himself back in the title contention. He was looking at exploring a new division where he can become, I believe, a 4-time champion because he's a 3-division champion. He wanted to become a 4-division champion. But unfortunately, not a lot of these cats can do what, the Floyd Mayweather, the Manny Pacquiao's, hell, even the Adrien Broners. You know what I'm saying? A lot of these cats can't do what they can do. Vasyl Lomachenko, right? Mikey Garcia. So he's not fit to move to 140 at least against a guy who's a natural who can probably move into the 147-pound division. He can't fight them cats, man. Obviously.
No. Yep. I mean, even Canelo, like you said, Canelo is one of them dudes. He can go multiple weight divisions and win titles and fight. So he's built like that.
Absolutely.
So, man, I mean, I don't know. I'm wondering about his mental makeup. That's my only concern with him, because at this age, when you get beat like that, it does take a little something out of you, man.
Yeah, of course it does. It does, but I feel that he's more comfortable if he just moved back down to 135. I mean, it'll be interesting, man, what happens, you know what I'm saying, what he decides to do with his career going forward. When you get knocked out like that, it's kind of hard to come back. Saddam Ali came back recently, but he didn't really look that good. But I didn't think Saddam Ali was a good fighter any damn way.
I'm about to say, when he ever looked
you know what I'm saying? I was never all the way back to the amateurs, man. I never really liked Saddam Ali like that. So, you know what I'm saying? But, he didn't look too good in his comeback. There's a lot of fans out there that like Saddam Ali that were upset. They were surprised that he's not really that good. But it is what it is. But, we'll see what happens, man. The commentators are like, oh, we might just see the conclusion to a great career. I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? We'll see.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. But, hey, man, props to Cano because I believe this was a title eliminator.
Yeah. It was.
So, man, props to him. And then I guess Maurice Hooker was in the crowd, and they asked him about Maurice Hooker, and he was like, man, please, dog, I'll fight anybody. Are you kidding me? So he's going to be a problem. With the way it seems like he's finally starting to gain traction, get some momentum behind his career, and figure out who he is. He's trying to identify who he is as a fighter. So he could be a problem, man, especially with that punching power. Dude could be a problem.
Yeah, I agree with that. We'll see. More polished fighters, I believe, will be able to handle him. But he's whenever you got that kind of power and you've got that kind of experience behind you, so you're always a wild card. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Exactly. Another upset that took place was in the heavyweight division. This was Bryant Jennings. Bryant Jennings, whose career kind of been kind of up and down. You know, he had some promotional issues, kind of disappeared after a couple losses. He signs with Top Rank. He has had a couple fights prior to this one. I think he had like about 4 or 5 fights prior to the one last night where he had some knockouts and some wins. But man, last night, Bryant Jennings did everything we said he needed to do to win the fight except one thing: close the damn show. That's the only thing he did. He closed the show, baby. And I had said something because a lot of you guys don't know. Me and Prodigy had this conversation. I said this to people. I said, Brian's gonna, when he starts throwing that jab, he's gonna have to be consistent with it, because a shorter man ability to get inside on you is always going to be faster than your ability to step back. Because when you're stepping back, you're not stepping back as far because of balance. But when you're going forward, that's your momentum. You can go forward as far as you want because you see where you're going and you can go there, versus not seeing where you're going backwards to try to make sure you're not putting yourself up against a rope or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Prodigy, you saw some of that fight. I'm gonna let you go because, man, I'm just too upset. I picked Bryant Jennings knowing damn well I shouldn't.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that pick, man, because the fight was in New York. You know, there was an expectation that if the fight went to the cards, there might be a little bit of home cooking. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing wrong with that pick. And you know, Bryant Jennings, actually, if you look at the fight, you know, he actually did very well. You know what I'm saying? He did. Basically, one of the biggest things we said was, and excuse me, my man, if you already mentioned this, I'm trying to get this episode out there so people can call in and stuff like that at the same time. But if you have already mentioned it, then motherfuckers can hear it again. The biggest thing we said was, with that 7-inch reach advantage and that 3-inch height advantage, he needs to be using that jab from the outside and moving. You know what I'm saying? Because a guy who's in the heavyweight division that's only, 6, I think he's 5'11" or 6 foot even, and as heavy as he is, he's like 240-something pounds, man. He weighs in at that. You know what I'm saying? So that's not even counting rehydration, right? So a guy that's that short and that solid, like a Mike Tyson, he's going to be trying to get on the inside. Mid-range distance to inside. You know what I'm saying? And basically, if you got a 7-inch reach advantage, you need to be keeping that motherfucker on the end of your jab all night long. That should be the game plan. When you go, before you get in the ring, hey, bro, keep him on the end of your jab. At the end of the first round, hey, man, keep him at the end of your jab. At the end of the 6th round, keep him on the end of your jab. Going into the 12th round, hey, bro, did I mention? You got to keep him on the end of your jab. You know what I'm saying? That's the game plan, bro. So, and watching the fight, he did that, and he did it very well. You know what I'm saying? It's just that there were times where Bryant Jennings would become the normal and natural Bryant Jennings, who doesn't really utilize the jab like he should. He actually sits mid-range distance, likes to fight on the inside, even more than mid-range distance. You know what I'm saying? He gives up his height and his reach. He's a banger. He can box, but he likes to bang at heart. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of fighters like that have boxing ability but want to bang and shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of that probably comes from that whole Philly Frep alpha male, type of mentality. You know what I'm saying? So he was doing that in rounds in this fight, and that's what gave Oscar Rivas somewhat of an advantage. A lot of people were watching the fight. I got a lot of messages after that fight, telling me, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Brian Rivas was dictating the pace of that fight, that jab, bro. He was on his way to a win. I'm like, nah, he wasn't, fam. He was losing on 2 scorecards and winning on 1. You know what I'm saying? I think one judge had it 106-103 for him. The other one had it 106-103 for Rivas. And the last one had it 105-104 for Rivas. So what would have happened was, if Bryant Jennings would have went out there and won the 12th round without getting a knockdown, the fight would have been a majority draw.
Wow.
Yeah, it would have been a majority draw. So he didn't have that fight in the bag, dog. He actually really needed the 12th round more than Oscar Rivas needed it. You see what I'm saying? Actually, Bryant Jennings needed a knockdown to win, family. So, call that a robbery all you want. It doesn't really matter. I don't give a shit. The point is he got knocked out. He didn't even last past the 12th round, so it wasn't no robbery. Scorecards are a little shaky from what I've seen. I thought Bryant Jennings was probably winning. He should have probably took home a unanimous decision, even if he didn't win the 12th round. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, man. But this isn't a surprise. We mentioned that Oscar Rivas was a very good fighter. This is going to be a razor thin fight. I can't remember who did the fight preview. I think it was my man Corey Cunningham did the fight preview for 3kingsboxing.com. On his fight preview, he mentions, yes, I think Bryant Jennings is going to win, but you should put your money on Oscar Rivas if you're a betting man. That's how close this fight was. And actually, the writer was Cecil Robinson. Excuse me. Let me get that correct. Cecil Robinson. So he mentioned that. So, this isn't a surprise at all, man.
No, it's not a surprise. And the thing about it was, I remember you was talking about this fight, and I made my pick. And we said that, and this is what happens when you're not used to doing what you should do from a basic skill set standpoint in boxing. Because Bryant Jennings does not always use the jab, what happened was once Oscar Rivas decided to, I'm finna jump on this dude, right? And this is exactly what happened. He slipped the jab, he got inside so fast that Jennings' only reaction was to just put his hands up and cover. And because Jennings not used to boxing, like we said, using his reach and height advantage, he didn't know to step left, step right, give this man some movement. No, he put his hands up, stood there, and took some punches, falling back into the ropes further, and it's still in a kind of in a defensive state or retreat state. And Rivas just let his hands go, and when he got knocked down and got up, I thought he looked okay. Jennings looked okay, especially when he went woof and shook his head. He looked okay, and then same thing again. Once Rivas jumped on him, he put them hands up, went back, and went back into the ropes. And once that head was there was 2 or 3 shots where his head was just bobbling back like a bobblehead, man. I was like, yo, ref, jump in there, please. And he jumped in there and stopped the fight.
Yeah, I agree. It's an unfortunate situation for him because, he was trying to, just like Jorge Linares, man, he was on a comeback trail since the loss to Luis Ortiz. He had signed a contract with Top Rank. Everything was looking on the up and up for him. And I just knew, man, when I saw this fight was signed, bro, I was like, man, this is a tough fight.
Yeah.
This is a tough fight. So, his comments after the fight was all he said was, it is what it is. That's all he said. So, hey, maybe he feels he has the ability to go back to the drawing board and come back with a vengeance again. You know what I'm saying? But, Oscar Rivas, he's elated. You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I told y'all, motherfucker. He even talked a little shit, dog. He talked a little bit of shit. He was like, I ain't undefeated for no reason, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
But you know what though? You supposed to. When you get a victory like that on major TV, you're supposed to talk some shit.
Hey, I dig it.
I mean, let's keep it a buck, man. This is the heavyweight division. This is where the lions are. Like, for real. You show any sign of weakness in this division, they will devour you. So he's supposed to talk that shit, especially if he's trying to get his name out there, in contention with some of these big dogs. He's supposed to talk that. I'm out there, hey, man, talk that shit, Joe. I wish he'd have said more.
Hey, I dig it, for real. You know what I'm saying? I ain't tripping off that. He said he needs to have his name up there with the top dogs. Hey, man, he deserves to be considered. Let me say that. He deserves stark consideration. You feel me? Exactly. There shouldn't be a situation where we look at Oscar Rivas and be like, nah, man. He won a good fight. He's a wild card in the division. He's got that power that we saw. He deserves consideration, man. So we'll see what happens.
Not to mention the fact this was a man that went to the 12th round and fought like he was in the first round. So that tells you he's committed to his positioning.
Very good point. You know what I'm saying? That shit, that shit escaped me. You should have said that myself.
Well, that's what you got me there. That's what you got me here for. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. But yeah, you're absolutely right. He showed that he's got something like a hell of a tank on him, bro. To be a short, compact dude, he's got a hell of a tank. Typically, when you see that much muscle on a cat, you know what I'm saying? You know, he doesn't really, like kind of like Anthony Joshua. He got a lot of muscle mass on him.
Yeah.
The stamina, he's gonna have stamina issues. That's too much to carry around. You see what I'm saying? Too much density.
Right.
And that's what I saw with Oscar Rivas, but he didn't get tired. Yeah, he's very dense, but he didn't get tired, man. Very good fight, man. I can't say nothing bad about the guy. Very good fight.
No, I can't either. And to prove my man point, the what my man's saying is, some of y'all might not know, you know, your boy is 6'1", 175. But recently, I found out I'm 5'10", 242 pounds. But the fact what he's saying is, I'm sorting.
So here's the thing. Bo is a dense motherfucker too. At the end of the day, I ain't gonna put his real weight out there, but he a dense motherfucker too.
Right. And let me tell y'all something. I get tired walking from the basement to the kitchen. Yeah. Hell yeah. The kitchen. I'm breathing a little heavy, so I need a little sip of water.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, dude got a good tank on him, man. Good fight. I take nothing away from him. Actually take nothing away from Bryant Jennings' performance. His performance is actually good. He just didn't close the show. Can he come back from this? We'll see, because he has shown in the past that, when he knockouts like this has caused him to have pauses in his career. So yeah, we're definitely going to see. But I definitely believe that this is going to be a huge bump in the road for Bryant Jennings going forward in the heavyweight division. Huge. I personally, I actually think he should even contemplate maybe going down to cruiserweight myself, to be honest with you.
Man, I don't think he can do it, fam. He'd be weighing in at like 230. You know what I'm saying? 220. He's not a small heavyweight like Deontay Wilder is. Wilder can go to
or Mike Perez, like Mike Perez was. Remember he was able to go
you
down?
Know what? Well, the funny thing is, okay, now you just kind of countered my point with a good one. Mike Perez used to be a guy that would win that much. He used to win 240, 250 and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And 230. And then look at him now. He's actually very lean. At heavyweight, he was kind of fat. You know what I'm saying? But at cruiserweight, he's lean. He's got more muscle. So yeah, never mind, man. Maybe so, but maybe that might be another argument that counteracts yours. Bryant Jennings doesn't have fat. He's actually lean muscle at 230, 220. So
that's what that's a very good point. So it's like, where's it gonna come from? The weight loss, where's it gonna come from?
Exactly. He be burning muscle and shit. You don't want to do that.
Yeah, that's a good point, though. See, ladies and gentlemen, this is boxing knowledge at its finest right here.
Exactly.
All right, man. So those fights been covered. Moving on, we got Demetrius Andrade, who successfully defended his WBO title against Artur Akavov. Yes, finally, you guys, I have said three people's name correctly.
Oh, man.
Without messing him up. Hey, I set up all night practicing that dude's name, let me tell you. Artur Akavov.
Yeah, man. Hey, everybody knows you known for that.
Yeah, dog. Not surprised when we saw Demetrius Andrade cruise to a victory. There was a little bit of a weird moment in that fight where, for whatever reason, the referee just jumped in and stopped the fight in the 12th round with only like 30 seconds left to go. And I don't know why. I mean, it wasn't like the dude was in trouble. Yes, Demetrius was winning the fight easily, but in a championship fight, you are supposed to let the guy, especially in the 12th round, man, you let them finish the fight. This reminded me of Richard Steele when he did with Chavez and Meldrick Taylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that reminded me of. Like, man, come on, man. You let the dude got all the way down to this. Man, you let him finish out the fight. But nonetheless, Demetrius Andrade was going to win. Before I let my man 2K talk about it, my question is, Demetrius Andrade, in my honest opinion, did not do enough to attract any of the big names in boxing or any people demanding the big names fight him in boxing in the middleweight division. He won the fight. He showed the skill set and everything. Like, if you guys watch when he fought Alontis Fox or when he fought Willie Nelson, that's the performance I needed to see. This is more like Jack Colkay type stuff right here.
Well, listen, man. The dude was overmatched before they even got in the ring, and I'm talking about Akavov. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a guy that Billy Joe Sanders made his first title defense against, I believe, on a layoff. You know, there was absolutely no chance Akavov was going to beat a guy with the talent of Demetrius Andrade. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, to me, it was a fight that really was meaningless, didn't need to happen. It was another situation where the DAZN has put on another lopsided card. You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
And I mean, I really ain't got much to say about this fight. Typically I'd be like, man, what the fuck? You stopped the fight that damn early. But it doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? The dude was losing all the goddamn rounds convincingly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was kind of like the referee was like, damn, man, y'all not going to throw the towel in on this dude. I will, motherfucker. Here you go. Bam. You know what I'm saying? That's pretty much what it looked like. You know what I mean? So I'm with you though, fam. Like, I'm a big proponent of allowing fighters to go out on their shield, regardless of the fact if they getting beat the fuck up. Now, if it's brutal, you know, I mean, they're just taking hellacious shot after hellacious shot, and you know, it's looking like motherfucker might get a brain bleed if you allow this fight to happen or to keep going on. Then, you know, by all means, go ahead and step in and stop it. But Demetrius Andrade really just styling on him and shit, you know, just outboxing him. He wasn't beating his brains in or nothing like that. So maybe they should have let it go on, but at the end of the day, like I said, it doesn't really matter. He wasn't going to win any fucking way. When they announced the fight, it was like, well, he lost. As soon as they announced that, he lost.
Yeah. Saw a couple of successful title defense.
Yeah. It pretty much. Like, it was like, yeah, Demetrius Andrade. I should have wrote the article like this, fam. Instead of writing it, yeah, Andrade versus Artur Akavov, is set for, you know, January 18th. I should have said Demetrius Andrade makes his first title defense.
Yeah.
He successfully made. I should have put that shit months ago. He successfully made his first title defense on January 18th. I should have wrote that in December.
You know? And you know, here's the thing about it is, remember Akavov is the cat that fought Billy Joe Saunders when Saunders was coming in weighing 250 pounds. You know, him and Tyson Fury was eating donuts and peanut butter sandwiches together.
Exactly. Big fat, my man sitting on the couch with his feet up with a bag of Cheetos, a jar of peanut butter. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker had 2 double stacked burgers, ate all that, got off the couch and said, all right, I'm ready to defend my title. And it was Akavov that he ended up fighting. Yeah, get the fuck out of here, man. This is a terrible fight. Terrible fight, man.
Yeah. But I mean, what's next for him? Because here's the thing, and I'm real big on dudes getting guys out the ring that don't deserve to be in the ring with you. Now, let's take in mind styles make fights, and Andrade just don't fight like he's not the type of dude that's gonna fight like that. Now, if the opportunity presents itself, like with Alontis Fox and Willie Nelson, then he does it. But for the most part, if he can just outclass you and outskill you, he's gonna do that. But in this situation, I just really felt like, dog, he should have stepped on the gas and got that out of there. Now, don't get it twisted, too. Akavov was in complete retreat mode, but he still should have figured out a way to jump on this dude, because if you want to attract the Canelo Alvarez, the Golovkins, or Daniel Jacobs, those winners, or any of these dudes that you're trying to get to fight you that you've had trouble with getting fights at once before 154, then you gotta make a statement, given a reason where people would demand that this happen, especially seeing the fact that all of y'all are with the same promoter. Remember, Eddie Hearns was talking Canelo versus Daniel Jacobs. He never once talked Canelo and Demetrius Andrade, not once. And he signed Andrade first, by the way. No, he signed Andrade second. He actually, that's a good point. He hasn't. Man, that might have been the talking point for Golden Boy. You remember? And look, I'm about to piss a lot of motherfuckers off right now. But that's Go ahead, Prodigy. Go ahead, Prodigy. Do it to him, Prodigy.
Exactly. See, remember when Demetrius Andrade, way back when, I'm going to tell a nice little bedtime story for you motherfuckers early in the morning. Remember way back when.
No. Let me mute my mic. I don't want there to be no interruption.
Right. Demetrius Andrade was the WBO 154-pound champion. You know what I'm saying? I believe he beat it. He beat my man. Damn, I forgot his name. Vanez Martirosyan. He beat Vanez Martirosyan, right? And remember, he defended the title, I believe, against Brian Rose and shit. But the number one contender was Canelo Alvarez. And not only was Canelo not looking to fight Demetrius Andrade, I mean, he never called him out. Golden Boy never said not one fucking word about Andrade. Andrade was chasing his mandatory challenger, right? And not showing up to press conferences, making his own interviews, shouting out Canelo's name all over the place, and he's the fucking champion. So the WBO was like, they did some snake shit, stripped Andrade of his title, right? Fast forward to Canelo versus Liam Smith. He takes that same title when he beat Liam Smith out here in my neck of the woods, Dallas, Texas, right? Then Andrade, ironically, is the number one contender for the title at which he was the champion, where now the champion was his number one contender back then. Ain't that something? And guess what? He was doing the same shit he was doing when he was champion, calling out Canelo, chasing him. Golden Boy and Canelo never mentioned him not one time again. I think they said once, well, he's got to fight, some bigger names, and, he want this fight. They said some dumb shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? The WBO did not enforce the same kind of rules that they enforced on Demetrius Andrade. They were actually telling Andrade, hey, man, you ain't fighting your mandatory. He's like, I'm trying to get this motherfucker. Nope, give me the title. They didn't do that to Canelo, though. You see what I'm saying? Now, I can't remember if Canelo even held the title long enough for them to do it, but the point is they didn't do it. All right? So fast forward now to DAZN. The reason why you don't hear Eddie Hearn talking about a possible Canelo-Andrade matchup is because Golden Boy is probably like, hey, man, don't be mentioning that motherfucker over there. We're not fighting him.
Yeah, you see him with
regardless, people, if you think Demetrius Andrade loses to Canelo, that's neither here nor there. The history speaks for itself. This motherfucker never wanted to fight Demetrius Andrade when he was in position to fight the guy twice in two separate situations and different points of his career. He was set to fight him and never did. So I'm inclined to believe he don't want that action.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah. I agree with you because just like I'm with you. I think Golden Boy them said, look, you can feed him to Billy Joe, but you better not mention him to us, or
exactly.
We're gonna walk. We're gonna walk. ESPN would love to have us.
Exactly, bro.
So
exactly right.
So he defended the title. And listen, I'm taking nothing away from the man. His skill set is just a skill set. What it is, Andrade is starting to fall into that kind of like that Guillermo Rigondeaux category. Very skillful fighter, but just not doing enough to garnish attention for people to want to see him fight some of the bigger names in boxing. So that's why these guys can go around not fight him, because there's nothing around him generating enough of a buzz. Like, you can show up at press conferences all you want. If there ain't no buzz around you, ain't no buzz around you. So
yeah, good point.
Let's see what happens next, man.
Good point.
All right, Amanda Serrano captures her 7th division title. Me and my man, we be having off-screen discussions about Amanda Serrano. But I'm just gonna say this: congratulations on her grabbing a 7th world title. She has indicated and said that her career isn't based around what Katie Taylor's gonna do, but a lot of us feel the reason why she signed with DAZN was to get a shot at Katie Taylor, especially since it happened right after she beat your sister. Prodigy, man, what do you think about her performance in that fight? Did she go too low? Is she starting to show some vulnerabilities?
So, when people cut weight, there's two things that can happen. It can end up being a situation where you cut way too much weight, where you've dehydrated your body, you took away a lot of the natural nutrients and all this, all the things that you need to, let me say you diminish the natural nutrients, all the things that you need to be able to be healthy enough to be able to compete at that weight. For instance, we talked about burning muscle, and, that's not always a good thing to do when you're dropping weight. You know what I'm saying? It can mess you up really bad. Or you can actually drop the weight. You do it the right way. you'll drop the weight. You'll get down to that particular weight that you're targeting, and you'll end up being too powerful for the fighters or the people, whatever you're competing in. You'll definitely be the stronger person in whatever you're competing in to get down that particular weight, right? So Amanda Serrano in her last fight, remember, she weighed in at 138 pounds. She was a junior welterweight. That's how she got her 6th divisional title. You know what I'm saying? Now, last night, that title was the WBO for the super flyweight division. That's 115 pounds, people. That is the limit, okay? That means Amanda Serrano cut a good, 25 pounds when it comes to the limit. She cut 25 pounds, all right? Now, officially, she went from 138 and a half to 114. That's what she weighed in at. So that's 24 pounds. You know what I'm saying? So, I'm sorry. Yeah, I had it right. 24 pounds. So, it's early, motherfucker. Nobody laugh at that. But anyway, it's 24 pounds that she cut. And we're talking from September to January. So she did it right. She did it the correct way. And what you saw in that fight was she just the more stronger, more powerful person because she fights at a bigger weight. It's kind of like bullying, so to speak. A lot of people talk about weight bullying. That's what this was, man. You know? Congratulations to Amanda Serrano. I'll take nothing away from her. I actually said on a post yesterday that she is one of the best female fighters to ever lace them up. There's no debate about that, okay? But in this particular situation, and actually, when you scroll down to a lot of her fights, bro, she's fought people that she really is much better than. Her competition isn't really that great, man. You know what I'm saying? 35-9, 5-8, 13-4, 26-10, 11-4 with 3 draws. Eva Vorberger was 24-5, but again, she's at 115. That's why she got ran over. It's like you know, Deontay Wilder cutting weight to make 168 pounds. Or 175. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, he gonna hurt. Deontay Wilder might hurt Badu Jack if he's not dehydrated and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Might knock the cat out if he's not dehydrated and he's actually made the weight healthy. That'd be a problem for fucking Badu Jack. I'm just using him as an example. You know? So I don't know, man. It's good. 7th divisional title. I'm not taking that away from her, by any means. I don't want anybody to think I'm hating on her. But at the end of the day, man, facts are facts. Go look at her fucking resume. She needs somebody like a Katie Taylor. In my opinion, I'm like this. She's accomplished a feat nobody else has, not even in the men's division, at least in terms of Puerto Ricans, right? Remember, she broke Miguel Cotto's record as the first Puerto Rican to get titles in 5 divisions. Miguel Cotto did it in 4, right? So she's murdered that record since. She's 3 divisions more now, or 2 divisions more, excuse me. So it's hard to accomplish what she's accomplished, regardless of who she's fought, right? So I don't take that away from her. But when I look at what she's able to do in the ring, I want to see her against another top quality fighter. Not no 26 and 10s and 35s and 8s. I want to see her in there with one of the best in the sport. And right now, close to that division would be Katie Taylor or Delphine Persoon. A lot of people forget about Delphine Persoon. She is the lightweight, I believe, WBC champion. Okay, that's the only other title that whenever Katie Taylor fights Rose Valente, which is coming up, I believe, in February or March, Rose Valente, I believe, is the IBF champion, if I'm not mistaken. When she beats Rose Valente, because she will have 3 of the 4 major titles. The only other one is Delphine Persoon, and she's fucking good, people. She's from Germany. So I want to see Amanda Serrano in there with those women, excuse me. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want to see. And that would tell me how good of a fighter she really is. Remember, Amanda Serrano has a loss. And the loss that she had was in 2012 against a girl by the name of Frida Wahlberg, who was undefeated at that time.
Yep.
Now, the reason why she never tried to get that rematch is because Frida Wahlberg had a medical incident that forced her to retire from boxing. It had to do with her brain or something like that. but it was a medical emergency. She had to retire from boxing. That's the only reason why that fight, or at least let me say this, that's why you didn't see Amanda Serrano try to avenge her loss. Now, would she have tried to do it is a whole nother story. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But in that fight, Serrano was outboxed. So Katie Taylor is what? She's a fucking almost damn near a masterclass boxer, even though she only has like 10, 11, 12 fights. I'm not looking at her boxer record, but she doesn't have that many fights. But she's almost damn near a masterclass boxer. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I want to see, did Amanda Serrano learn from being outboxed by Frida Wahlberg to where she can actually compete at that level, even though she's got 7 divisional titles? I want to see her compete against that level, and it'll tell me, okay, she is 100% legit. I'm just saying.
Now, you make a very good point about the weight bullying thing, because typically and very normally, fighters go up in weight.
Yeah.
They normally don't go down chasing titles or even go down chasing another fighter. They normally typically go up in weight. And when you look at where she was and the fact she went down, it makes me wonder, were there challenges at 140 or 147 that she was looking like, nah, I don't want that. Because we all know who is at 147. And she is a masterclass boxer.
Yeah.
At 147, the undisputed, undefeated Cecilia Bracas. She is a masterclass boxer.
Absolutely.
She's so masterclass that even with her age and she's starting to slow down, she still has the skill set and ring IQ to get past fights that look like they're starting to get a little hard for her.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm just curious as to why, why the going down, because like you said, that's 24 pounds. You have to do that comfortably. No fighter thinks to themselves, I'm going to lose 24 pounds and go down and fight this guy. No fighter thinks like that. You make a very good point with that. So you're right. She does need a Katie Taylor, because we need to see if she has solved that riddle, so to speak. Now, Katie Taylor is on the way to being a masterclass boxer. When Katie Taylor fought Jessica McCaskill, shout out to Jessica McCaskill, won the WBC title also. McCaskill was a rough and rugged fighter, and normally most boxers don't like fighting rough and rugged fighters. Floyd Mayweather, that's the reason why Marcos Maidana was able to be as successful against Floyd. Same thing with Ricardo Mayorga when he fought Vernon Forrest. Rough boxers typically don't like fighting rough and tough type fighters. Those are just hard fights for them because they're unpredictable and they're so unorthodox. You don't know, where things are coming from. And that's why I think Katie Taylor still won the fight, but I think that's why she had moments where she didn't look as good against Jessica. So, but this is not the case with Amanda Serrano. Amanda Serrano don't fight like that. Amanda Serrano is not a rough and tough type fighter. She actually tries to box you and use movement, which could not be her advantage when she faced the Katie Taylor. So to my man's point, I want to see it because I want to see if that's a riddle that she has solved at this point in her career.
We'll see. I'll tell you what, though, I didn't like her response at the end of that fight. I'm really good at reading people. Yeah, I'm really good at reading your demeanor, man. Like if somebody says something to somebody else, poses a question, I look at the eyes, I look at the body movement, I look at the body language. You know what I'm saying? And when the guy, I don't know the guy's name, but the ring interviewer for DAZN, whenever he asked her, there's a possibility of a Katie Taylor fight down the pipeline, she kind of nodded her head a little bit to the side, had a long blink, a prolonged blink, not really a long one, but she just didn't look like a fighter who was like, yeah, give me that shit. You know what I'm saying? It was like, Katie Taylor's there. That's how it was. And then her response supported that. Her response was, basically, whenever that fight, comes, becomes ready, hopefully she's ready. But for right now, I'm just trying to defend my title at 115. Get the fuck out of here, man. We trying to see that fight. that was the whole excitement. Bro, that was the whole excitement surrounding Amanda Serrano signing a 3-fight deal right after her sister gets beat by Katie Taylor. That's what the excitement was about her signing that deal. Because it was like, oh, shit, she was at the fight, right? She was at the fight. She saw her sister get beat to a pulp ringside. The damn trainer, Cindy got her ass beat so bad that the trainer in Cindy's corner got mad and looked like a fool in the ring. At the end of the fight, trying to get mad at Katie Taylor, who she doesn't come off like Katie's like a humble person. She's just looking at him like, what's wrong with y'all niggas? Y'all mad because y'all lost? She's looking at the dude like that. He looked like an idiot. And he's over there shouting, Amanda's sitting right over there. Amanda's sitting right over there. She'll beat you. Okay, well then shit. Well, if that's the case, then get in the fucking ring with her then. I don't want to see you fight some chick. What did she say? Raja? Bruh, I'm pretty well versed. I'm not the greatest at women's boxing. That would be men's boxing. But I'm pretty well versed in women's boxing. I don't know that other chick that she called out in the ring. Raja some shit, man. I don't know her. You know what I'm saying? I want to see Katie Taylor, Delphine Persoon. Hell, my girl Chantel Cameron. I want to see that.
Yup. Yeah.
So I just didn't like her. I didn't like her response, bro. That shit killed me, man. I was upset. I thought she was gonna do more than that. I thought she was gonna be like, yeah, definitely, that fight's on the docket. You know what I'm saying? I signed this 3-fight deal for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna go down. Nah, man. She kind of played that off. I didn't like it, man. I didn't like it at all.
So, translation, she didn't show the fighter's mentality.
Not at all. Not at all, fam. And that's exactly. She did not show the fighter's mentality when that question was posed to her. She had the fighter's mentality like a motherfucker before Katie Taylor's name was mentioned. Yep. It stopped right there. So,
yeah, and also on a more important note, the significance of her signing with DAZN, she had left boxing and went to MMA. Amanda Serrano. She was out of boxing actually. She had actually left boxing and she had an MMA fight. So she was out of boxing. Then her sister lose and she came back. So you can't necessarily say, like, because some of y'all are gonna be like, why y'all coming down her? We coming down her because of this. She left boxing. It's not like she was still around fighting. No, she had left boxing and went to MMA, dog. She had an MMA fight and everything. Okay. Then she came back after her sister lost. That's clear indication. I want you because you beat my sister. I'm sorry. That's clear indication there to me.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, what she said after that fight in the interview to ringside, she specifically said that she would come back to boxing, and because they were asking her about Katie Taylor, she said, "Yeah, that fight could happen. I will come back to boxing if the money's right."
Yeah,
that's what she specifically said. So, with that said, you know what I'm saying? That's why we're expecting to see that fight. Just the timing was perfect for that to happen. For her to sign that deal at that time. It's like, come on now, let's go. We trying to see that shit. So exactly. It is what it is, man.
All right. So we got all the fights covered. This is the part that I like, which is fight previews and predictions.